policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We are happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
AYODEJI, AJISOPE,
and
LAFFY
on from the dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
All right, I must say it feels so good to be back on the program after taking a short break on it yesterday. Thank you, Favor Oloruntola, for holding forth for me yesterday. And I did enjoy the conversation you had with Comrade AYODEJI. I really enjoyed your conversation yesterday.
You mean she did hold forth effectively for you.
Yeah, thank you very much once again, Favor Oloruntola. Okay, my name is AYODEJI LAFFY. We're back on From the Dailies, the program where we get to take you through the trending stories in the national dailies. And this morning, thank God it's Friday. I forgot to say that. I mean, Friday is a day I always look forward to. Not because of the parties, but basically because of the rest that comes with the weekend. Not forgetting the other jolly too, but Friday is a good day that I always look forward to. Okay, this morning I have the Guardian, I have the Nigerian Tribune, I have the Punch newspaper, and of course the Vanguard newspaper. And of course I have Comrade AYODEJI AJISOPE, as usual, sitting next to me this morning as our analyst on the program. Without wasting much of our time, I mean, 2 days ago we had the cabinet reshuffle, some ministers were sacked. And it seems
they were discharged.
They were discharged.
That
okay.
That was a key word.
That's the word there.
By Adenoga.
Bayo Adenoga. Bayo Onanuga. Okay. That they were discharged. Okay. Okay. Good use of English there. Actually. Now, still having issues concerning the ministers. Now, governance costs. Tinubu orders cuts in ministers' convoys. Aids. And there is a rider looking at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And the riders under that, we have this one saying, orders military, paramilitary agencies to reduce vehicles, personnel deployment. How Nigerians' feedback shaped Tinubu's cabinet reshuffle presidency. Ministers assessed based on performance. And another one says Matawale retained because allegations linking him to banditry untrue. Why Baja, Olubunmi Ojo, Edun, others were retained. Source: retaining Kiyamo reflects Tinubu's commitment to aviation growth. AON, as Tinubu seeks Senate's confirmation of ministerial nominees. Okay, another one says reps CBN disagree over validity of old Naira notes. Commence withdrawal of old Naira notes before December 31 deadline. Reps tell CBN there is no such deadline. CBN replies reps. I thought the the Supreme Court had already given the ruling that the old Naira notes, our beloved old Naira notes, remain valid. So why is the reps pushing for it to be withdrawn?
You see, sometimes I wonder the way these things just pan out. These are the lawmakers.
Yes.
And there was a Supreme Court judgment. I think it was in November, was it 2022? To that effect, that the two will remain legal tender existing side by side. Infinitum.
Yes.
Infinitum means infinity.
Yeah.
And then the House of Reps would now say the central bank should start withdrawing money from circulation.
And even giving them deadline before December 31st of December.
But you see, those things don't matter. The director of communications for CBN said that the rumor that was emanating from the House of Rep was tantamount to trying to disrupt Nigeria's payment system.
I mean, the reps, do they want to send us back to the things we had to experience towards the end of 2022?
I ask myself, what is the motive?
Okay, still taking the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Tinubu laments as Nigeria spends $1.5 billion on dairy imports. Okay, let me take a few more stories. All 8 passengers in Bonny helicopter disaster feared dead. Police. FG sets up 46-man committee to review obsolete laws. And the last one I'll be taking. Catholic Church condemns FG's alleged move to legalize abortion. Page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper has that story. Let me move to another newspaper this morning. Now, looking at the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, Humphrey Onwosu, ex-NEC chairman, dies. Peter Obi-Mons, I'm sure some Nigerians will still remember who Professor Humphrey Onwosu, the man in charge of the National Electoral Commission, established in the year 1986 and was defunct. I became defunct in 1993, immediately after the June 12, 1993 election.
He was already announcing results. That was a huge billboard. I see that INEC headquarters now. Huge billboard mounted in front of INEC headquarters, and they were feeling the figures from the states.
The results of the June 12 election.
Yes, for everybody to see. Everybody knew. You see, when you are dealing with a person like Abiola, Abiola was the chairman of ITT Africa and the Middle East. You knew that the man had the capability for satellite communication, so they could monitor everywhere. So they knew the results already, and Nwosu was entering in, and they knew too that Nwosu had the result because everybody knew what the result was at every polling station. So then Babangida.
We'll talk about the man Humphrey Onwosu in the course of the program. Now, cost of governance. Tinubu limits ministers' convoy to 3. Residents trapped, others relocate as flood ravages Ogun communities.
It's an annual thing.
It is an annual thing. Omba approves 80,000 naira minimum wage for Enugu workers. Okay, investigation begins as oil workers die in helicopter crash. 3 bodies recovered, 5 still missing. Crashed chopper was heading to our facility, NNPCL. How we activated rescue coordination activities, NAMA. Pilot revealed as NAPE, Vice President. Okay. Nigeria 12 others join BRICS. Senators in heated arguments over funding for regional commissions. And neglect of livestock for foreign dairy, a mistake. Tinubu. Let me take the Punch newspaper's account now. Cabinet reshuffle. Presidency defends Tinubu as FG slashes ministers' vehicles. 8. FG differs as clerk. Others allege lopsidedness. Tinubu seeks Senate confirmation. Naira devaluation pushes FG state debt to 134 trillion naira. Broken aircraft windscreen aborts Shetima's Samoa trip. Okay, still taking stories on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Military NEMA come see for crashed helicopters passengers. Police hunt gunmen as 9 killed in fresh Anambra attack. And looking at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, there is this deep report has been put on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this Friday morning. It says, calls for military intervention, misery, harsh policies driving Nigerians to desperate choices. I mean, the report is apparently talking about the fact that due to the hardship, some Nigerians are calling for military intervention. We'll look into that particular story in the course of the program as well. Tinubu orders cost-cutting measures as Senate begins screening on Tuesday. Let me take one more story. No deadline on old Naira notes, says CBN as reps pushes for new ones. Okay, that is these are the stories we have on some of today's national dailies, and let's go straight into the analysis proper. Now, 2 days ago, some ministers were discharged. And now, let me even start with the fact that President Tinubu is saying that cutting costs of governance, reducing the convoys and the aids of ministers. Now, will this go a long way in reducing costs? Because some Nigerians are saying that if this government wants to reduce costs, it should look into the National Assembly, not the ministers. What do you make out of that?
I think, let me take it from the National Assembly.
Okay.
I think that Nigerians are fixated. Nigerians have a fixation with the National Assembly. In fact, that fixation with the National Assembly is a worrisome one. And the only reason why that is happening is that it is a parliamentary arm of government that has suffered every time the military interrupted governance. The two other arms remained. The role of the parliament was always taken over by the executive, legislating and, executing. Now, how many of them are in the National Assembly? 360 in the House of Reps. Directly elected by clearly defined constituencies, representing the people, and 3 on equality basis representing, and we're talking about 230 million plus Nigerians, 360 plus 109 representing them, less than 400. Distribute that amongst 230 million Nigerians. You see how it breaks down. And then you know that they are the people that are available, that the people will go to always. A minister can always say, a House of Rep member does not say that. A senator cannot tell his people that. And then, look, I know people a House of Rep member in this Ibadan North, for instance, will come home and he thinks he's coming home over one weekend with 10 million naira. The money would disappear the day he lands in Ibadan. Now, a minister owes nobody, not a dime. Meanwhile, a minister has ministries, departments, and agencies under his supervision with the attendant patronages he can dole out. The members of the House of Reps or Senate, even if they are the ones oversighting, they still have to maneuver their ways to get little crumbs. That is the minister that is not elected, but appointed. And then they are strutting around in a militarized motorcade. They're not the representatives of people. We're not focusing on those ones. They now say they want to cause governance costs. What did they say? How did they say they should do it?
That they should reduce the ministers' convoys and their aids.
Have you ever seen the American, and I mean the president's motorcade? You can see a convoy of 100 vehicles, but there are, apart from, of course, the security vehicles, the presidential limousine, then there's another limousine. The beast. Then there's another one. The other limousine, the Secretary of State will sit down there. The National Security Advisor will sit there. The military assistant to the president will sit there. 3 rows. Three people will sit like this. Three will face themselves like this. Then there will be a back row. Principal is like the chief of staff, SGM.
All in one vehicle.
All in one vehicle, following the president. But here, the motorcade of the president, the motorcade of the SGM, the motorcade of
The motorcade of the Nigerian president has if I'm not mistaken, more than 50 vehicles in it. Because I've witnessed twice in recent time.
So they will sit, crouch like this inside one vehicle. The principal, they are at work. They are not. When I see our ministers at work, voluminous robes. These are not agbadas. They are no longer. They are robes. I say, okay, now you want to sign one document, you will do like this. You do like this. You do like this before. You go to a meeting. You are not looking like you are coming to a meeting. I didn't say you should wear a suit. This is our Oyo State governor. When you see him now wear agbada, he actually told them in the beginning, he says, you can't see me.
But is it about your? I think it has to do with the individual fashion style, of course.
Fashion style. But fashion style.
Someone like me, I'm not used to agbada, so if I'm up there, you don't expect me to put on them. But there are some people that are so used to wearing it even before they got into position.
You see, there's functionality to fashion.
Okay.
So, it is not every. It's not as if this governor does not wear agbada. He wears agbada, but there's is usual. I think he took some persuasion before they could the cap regularly. So, I smile when you say they cut the motorcade to 3.
To 3, yeah.
Okay, one security vehicle, the principal car, and a backup. Okay, the security vehicle. How many security details does the minister have? How many aides goes around with the minister? And why do they have to go around? All this is the members of the National Assembly. They are the ones that need people to work with them.
Okay, they are the ones that need more aides around them.
You look, what goes into making laws? Check out Capitol. They bring in experts. It's not just you cobble stuff together. Okay, look at the Students' Loan Act. See, because it was shortly done, they could not even implement it because they didn't put experts to take a look at it. Even if you brought it, you customize it. So, but that is how we do things. We think the lawmakers are not doing anything. We think government is the executive branch. Now, okay, how much will be saved? They are running around the 200 million, 180 million SUVs. That is what you see in the public. Do you understand? That is what you see in the public. The wife will be allocated, not listed. It will not be so listed.
Are we talking about the ministers now?
Yes.
Okay.
It will not be so listed.
Officially.
Yeah, they will have ways of listing it now. And then utility vehicles, the one they call utility vehicles, for domestic staff, for this, and then even in his home. Maybe it comes from Kano, maybe it comes from Oyo. They will be deployed there. And then they have what they call, I do not know what a minister needs an advanced team for. A minister. A minister, there will be an advanced team ahead of him. To do what? You have decided to go to attend a program. And then, protocol, government people are very funny. They are the ones, people have the erroneous impression that it is ministers and commissioners that are running government. It is the bureaucrats that are running government. The moment, if you don't understand it, the moment you land in that office like this, they will just capture you.
So we can boldly say that this move by President Tinubu is a good step in the right direction.
Cosmetic step.
Cosmetic step in what way?
We should look at our budget. That is one thing I've always asked finance people. Okay, what kind of budgeting are we doing? When they start, okay, we're in October now. When they want to do the budgeting for 2024, they will say, they will now go and bring the 2023 budget without evaluating it. That's how they do Nigeria's budget. They will say, okay, for what was budgeted for 2023, they will say, computer screen hardware. What was budgeted? They say 10 monitors. What do you call the other one?
CPU.
Okay, CPU. And okay, they say, how much was it bought? They said it was bought 150,000 naira. What is the current inflation rate? And they will put inflation rate on it. They will just say, okay, how much do we buy? What number? 12 last year. Okay, put 14 for this year and add the inflation rate. Okay, what happened to the ones they bought last year? Are they going to buy new? Are they going to buy new ones? That's how they prepare budget. In some places, they will first of all ask number one, how much of what was budgeted last year did you receive? And how did you expend it? Do you know that there's what they call misapplication in budget? You say this is what we're going to use the money for. They do that one now. They will just carry money from one subhead and go and execute money that has not been released for a particular head. They will go and carry the money to execute. That's misapplication. It's a misdemeanor itself in public. But that's what they do. They will carry money from one subhead and go and service another subhead. When it comes to vehicles, you say, how many vehicles are budgeted for? Hilux 21. They will say 2025. I put 24. They bought 24.
What happened to the ones they bought last year?
We should ask them. So what kind of budgeting is that? I've always asked our finance people, what kind of budgeting is that? No evaluation. Okay, have you ever, when last did you have, even in Oyo State, you know they were doing it before, a budget performance. Did you hear about budget performance last year? Did you hear about it? They came in, they touted it.
To evaluate how far the...
What kind of governance is it that you will not evaluate what you are doing?
All right, still taking the story concerning ministers. One of the writers on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, it says ministers assessed based on performance. I mean, talking about those that were discharged and those that were retained. This report is saying that they were assessed based on their performance. But there is a particular minister among those that were discharged. That is the Minister for Women Affairs, the former Minister for Women Affairs. That is the barrister, Mrs. Uju Kennedy Oanaye. Now, it is being believed that this woman actually performed to the best knowledge of Nigerians, to the best of the knowledge of Nigerians, because we can remember vividly some three key issues that she stood her ground. One of such is the lady. There was a particular lady on the September 26th, just last month. A lady was involved in this one chance scenario in Abuja. She was apparently she found herself in a particular bus filled with robbers. So I think after robbing her, she was pushed off the moving vehicle. Talking about Miss Greatness Olorunfemi. This lady was rushed to Maitama General Hospital in Abuja, and on getting there, according to the report heard that went viral, on getting to the hospital, the people at the hospital, the nurses, didn't attend to the lady. Despite her condition, they claimed that she needed the police report before they could attend to her, and unfortunately, the lady died. And I remember vividly that this woman, talking about the Minister of Women Affairs, she stood her ground. She went to the hospital and challenged the chief medical director of that hospital. I even have a clip of what transpired at the hospital when the former Minister of Women Affairs, went to challenge the chief medical director of Maitama General Hospital Abuja. Let's take a listen at what happened.
You heard what happened on the 26th, and you are aware that this is not the first time this thing is happening. You and I are aware of that. It has been going on not only in this hospital, in almost all the hospitals in Nigeria. It has been going on. And most times, little thing that you people would have done to resuscitate somebody ends up leaving that person to die off. And you people were still asking the people to carry the corpse out of the hospital. The videos are there. We have evidences on this issue. But we want to use your hospital as a typical example that it will never happen again anywhere else. Because that girl that died belonged to somebody. She's a Nigerian citizen. She was a Nigerian citizen. It's a state child. Normally, every child belongs to the state. You know that. And do you have anything to tell me, or did you give them such an instruction? If they bring emergency, they shouldn't accept them. What do you have to say about this?
In these circumstances, ma, with due respect, the video trending was false.
How?
Yes. This lady, when she was brought in as a BID. We call it BID, brought in dead. My nurse promptly saw and called in the doctor.
What did they use to show she was dead? How did they know that?
She checked the radar pulse.
She did that? I didn't see the video doing that.
Okay.
I saw this girl in this hospital. None of you attended to her. Do you have the video that showed your staff checking the pulse? Yes. Can you show us?
Talking about the one trending on social media?
Yes.
Oh no, there's a CCTV camera that picks all what, there's footages.
Okay, in the footages,
Yes.
what happened?
She checked the pulse, checked the radar pulse, and came in to call the doctor on duty. Even before she went out, another doctor that was passing even branched and saw with bare hands. She saw
Madam,
that
is
they now
it
checked.
enough to just check the pulse? Don't you people have oxygen? Don't you have those things they used to pump the heart to see if it could come back, knowing that it was an emergency?
That's the voice of Mrs. Uju Kennedy-Ohaneye, the former Minister of Women Affairs, who was discharged. That is one issue. Another issue is that female military, the female soldier, if you remember, Ruth Ogunleye, that did a video that went viral too, that she was being abused by her senior officers. She accused a colonel and two other senior officers for sexual harassment and intimidation and threat to life. And when that video came out, it was this same lady, Mrs. Uju Kennedy-Ohaneye, the Minister of Women Affairs, that stood her ground and fought for the lady. And not forgetting the issue concerning the empowerment programs we've been having, that she came out and said these empowerment programs, the monies being put into these programs are being mismanaged by people that are put in charge of such. Now, this is the woman. Should this woman be the one that will be discharged for not working? When we know that there are some ministers that Nigerians hardly heard their name and they are retaining their position. Nigerians are beginning to ask questions that if you want to be upright, you cannot be in governance.
There are two perspectives today. That video clip where she was raking and delivering blistering statements against those who are mismanaging and were reckless with what was supposed to be empowerment.
Empowerment, yes.
And the overhead cost of the empowerment itself was 2/3 of the process. And then this one, you understand, when you are navigating, I was born and raised in a bureaucratic environment. There are ways of navigating. You will not leave your office as minister and go to Maitama General
Hospital.
Number one, it is not under your ministry. There's a medical director there. A medical director that does not report to you. And you now go there under the glare of camera. And I'm sorry, she was not asking particularly intelligent questions.
Okay.
You don't navigate like that in the public space. The moment they sense that no matter how good your intentions are, the moment they look, governance is about systems and structures. She could have instructed investigations, get the feedbacks. His thing is not drama. There is no drama. There are systems and structures. That is why you see president will announce something. How many times has the president announced things in this country and we have not? What about the announcement of waiver on rice, waiver of duty? Have you heard that it has been implemented?
No, not yet.
Since when? How many months now?
Going to about 4 months or more now.
Is it the one that will implement it? You just got in annoyance, and I knew that it was in frustration. In Addis Ababa, that was where the president ordered the implementation. He did not even order a review. He ordered the implementation of the Orosoye report because he was frustrated. He said 1 year CNG, they say there is no money and there's getting. What has happened to that? Governance is about structures and systems. So people should stop imagining that anything magical or dramatic is going to happen. President orders. They say they do not even have any template for the waiver on the duty now, up till now.
Yes.
And the president has ordered. So all these things do not work like it seems. People should come to that realization. So that woman, good intentions are never enough. The moment people sense that you are getting dramatic and they cannot be sure of your next move, and who the next person you are going to hit will be, they will shoot you down. So all this drama does not work in government space. You saw what they did to.
Do we say that she overdid, or she did, or she was
okay, the minister of what do you call the minister? The minister of works. How they humiliated him. He was standing there and they said, Mr. Minister, this is not state. You cannot come here and lock gate. What's your business with locking gate? If you want to catch latecomers, then it's not even your business. You are minister. You are not permanent secretary. You are not director. You cannot catch latecomers. This is not state. They told him the man apologized. You didn't see the man apologize.
You know, there was a viral video that came out yesterday where the workers at the Ministry of Human Affairs were jubilating when the news of our sack, of our discharge, broke out. Let's take a listen at the jubilation.
It's all about approval.
Let's take a listen at the jubilation at the Ministry of Human Affairs. You can imagine them jubilating discharge. I mean, these are supposed workers.
Yeah, you know, when you must learn to navigate appropriately with your eye still on the ball.
No matter the good intentions you have.
Good intentions are never enough. You must understand the terrain. And you must know how to navigate appropriately with your eye still on the ball. Look, the president, the man has his eye on the ball, but he is navigating appropriately.
Okay, let's leave that story for now. Reps CBN disagree over validity of old Naira notes. Commence withdrawal of old Naira notes before December 31 deadline. Reps tell CBN there is no such deadline. CBN replies, Reps.
You see, this is where our National Assembly, they let us down. Okay, will they say they do not understand the judgment of the Supreme Court, which says the existence of the two currencies,
the old and the new,
will continue ad infinitum. And you know, look at the central bank statement. Central bank said whatever rumor was emanating from the House of Rep was will only be intended to disrupt Nigeria's payment system. Look at that, those weighty words that the central bank deployed to disrupt Nigeria's payment system, our National Assembly. They should mind their business.
What's their motive for that?
For
what purpose?
What interest will it serve? What's the problem with the money? Everybody is, relaxed and everywhere. When they say they have ordered new notes, it is only in this country that they will say, shut down in 30 days, exchange all your money. No. Okay, now, they have a queen. They had a queen.
They had a queen, yeah.
They have a king now. You will not hear anything. You will just start seeing gradually.
It will be withdrawn gradually.
Maybe they
from circulation.
So what is this? It is from our military psyche that it has been instilled in us. You hear our governors, and they will say they will capture Southwest. They will say they will take over in
now that you talked about the military psyche that we had, let's look at the report of the Guardian newspaper now. Calls for military intervention. Misery. Harsh policies driving Nigerians to desperate choices. I mean, you hear some Nigerians saying, oh, military should just come and take this, that our politicians have failed and everything. What do you make out of this?
I think military calls for military intervention is not well thought out. It is actually ill-advised. And let me tell you one thing. Those military, do you think they want the burden of Nigeria? What solutions do they have? Do you think that the military leadership in Nigeria, well educated, sophisticated, do you think they want this body? Do you think they want to venture? What solutions do they have? And then the hostility that the Western capital will exhibit towards them. You don't see how they are enjoying themselves. I saw one yesterday. I said, GOC being escorted in his own private Mercedes SUV, being escorted, and you see them. It is what the ministers are riding, that they are riding, the GOCs, the brass hats and all of that. So why do they want to come and put their head in Nigeria's problem? No, people should stop deceiving themselves. Except it becomes a national security issue, the military will not step in. They will not step in.
Unless it becomes a national issue.
Security issue. That, threats of dismemberment and unrest and all
but we are having such even in the country at the moment. I mean, talking about banditry, kidnapping, are they not enough?
Those are internal security issues.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even their business. Internal security is the work of police and other agencies. They are to safeguard Nigeria's territorial integrity.
Are the police up to the task of maintaining that internal security?
Apparently, it is obvious. I mean, it has been obvious for like ever that the police, and you see, the military too aided the location, the quick transition to the current location of the police. Because by the time Adewusi was the police IG, the police in this country was working very well, and they were regarded and respected. Not this one. You will not offer mobile police bribe. They were taken care of. They were well paid.
Then
yes, okay. I was close to them. My cousin was, placed there. So, but you want to dare not offer them. In fact, I saw an instance where a mobile policeman he took the money and threw it at. Before they went on any assignment, they were paid before they departed. Not that they will say when you are coming, when you are back, you will be paid. So they didn't need anybody's money. And when you say mobile, they were actually mobile. they were well taken
So
care
what changed between then and now?
They became a threat. They were a threat to the military. The first thing the military went for was to seize all the APCs of the military, of the police. And then they started all those barracks that this administration, this IG and this administration are selling. A cousin of mine called me yesterday. He said they have sold all police barracks.
Sold?
Yes. That's not a secret. They gave the policemen 2 million and all of that. And they were, everybody knows now. That's not a secret. They are demolishing them already.
To do what?
PP, the one they call PP, is it PP or PP? Everything is going commercial and all of that. And Adewusi built both of them with the intention of, Lagos especially, the intention of course, most of them are decrypted. And then they do not have what they call integrity. They are failed integrity tests. Understand? So it was meant to make them close to the location of their posting, so that if there was a need, and you are serving on the Victoria Island, you are leaving it at Agege.
But I'm just hearing it for the first time that the police barracks are now being sold.
They have been sold. Falomo sold. It gets sold. I knew those barracks very, very. I was very close to the police. It get expansive. They first of all cut off a small part, and Ije, and then Dolphin behind.
Are they turning them into the estates that we're having now?
That is Ije, is Ikoyi, Southwest Ikoyi. No. I think it's still Southwest Ikoyi, because Southwest Ikoyi is from Doda Barracks to Obalende. That's prime property, and you put policemen there. They think you are wasting money now.
You're wasting money on that.
Prime property, you put policemen there.
And that juicy.
God bless you for that word.
Juicy. I understand. Now let's look at this particular issue. This man, Humphrey Nwosu, he was a popular name in the history of Nigerian politics, especially as regards the June 12, 1993 election, as the man that chaired the electoral body that conducted that election then. Humphrey Nwosu died yesterday. Who was the man, Humphrey Nwosu?
Humphrey was a professor of political science. You see, even in Humphrey, when he granted interviews and all of that, he had no heirs. He apparently had no skeletons.
And I know till his death, every interview he granted, he was trying to tell Nigerians that he had no hand in what happened during.
There was a huge electronic board outside the INEC headquarters. How many states would we have there? I think 19 states, Abi. I think there was only one state left.
I think it was Taraba, because I watched the interview. One of his interviews, he mentioned Taraba, that they were expecting Taraba result from Taraba.
So if they had announced 18 out of 19, so how do you now say? In the United States, when they know the exit poll, the one of the candidates that has lost out will concede. You understand? Nobody okay. Have you ever had an electoral commission announcing?
According to the interview, in one of his interviews, he said he was summoned at some point during collation that he was summoned by the powers to Aso Rock. That he was summoned, that they asked him some questions that I remember he said the military president was asking Humphrey, what is your take on this election? And he said so many things.
You see? And I think they were now the ones telling him that even the elections he conducted was directed by a court not to be held.
Yes, he mentioned that too.
And the man said that the enabling law empowered him to go ahead. You understand? He said, we have, of course, they have a legal department, that they did their due diligence, that they were on the right side of the law. That was why they proceeded
with the election.
They just wanted to feel his pulse. They wanted to directly feel his pulse, to know. You know, the man was not saying, it is whatever you want us to do. That they saw that this one, this one has a mind of his own. If he left this place, he will go and announce results. So they ordered him to stop
The collation.
the announcements that was already known. 18 out of 19. The man was just simple, no airs, even in his old age. He carried nobody.
And that singular action since 1993, can we say that Nigerians have overcome the effect of that till date?
See,
The annulment of the June 12 election.
that election, I will never forget. I drove in from Lagos to come and vote at St. Patrick's Grammar School in Basharu. It was an expression of who we are deep inside us.
And it is believed that that is the freest presidential election we've ever conducted in this country.
You see, when God wants to trap whoever thinks he is smart, he will use his own hand to devise a trap that will, it is him that will now devise a trap that will trap him. Babangida was the one that devised option A4. They call it open secret ballot. They will put the party logo. You will queue behind
The party logo, yeah.
only 2 parties. And everybody will count in 1, 2, no ballot paper. 1, 2, 3. Everybody knew the result. No fight. So, okay. If it was ballot, maybe you can still dispute it. You can still rig it. How are you now going to rig or manipulate something that was... So everybody went home. Every voter.
With the result.
Every onlooker. The result... everybody will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So everybody knew everybody on the street knew the results everywhere.
Already.
So that was how Babangida trapped himself. You see? Okay, that election was an expression of who we are as a people, individually and collectively. It was an expression of who we are. That it was politicians that were using ethnicity and religion and all sorts of dubious things to divide us. Moshood Kashima Olawale Abiola defeated Bashir Tofa in Kano. Won everywhere. In the southeast, in the southwest, in the south. It was the man. This was a Moshood Abiola that every MK who did not know the name. When they said he chose Babagana Kingibe a Muslim, the Christian Association, a shipment of Bible, and they bought it. Christian Association of Nigeria issued a statement and said, "We know him. It is the Baptists that trained and raised him."
I remember that statement. I remember this statement. I remember.
You know,
they gave him the full support.
See, we know this one.
That is one election that had no ethnicity or religious undertone at all.
And they could feel, they knew where he was coming from. But he was a threat. There is one video clip. The man was in my government. The transactions of the NNPC is as opaque as the crude that they are dealing in.
Why was Abiola a threat? Becoming president a threat?
Abiola was too powerful.
In what sense?
Globally. It links. Abiola was too powerful. It's just the same thing. And this current president does not even have a tenth of the presence, and I mean the imposing cloud.
That Abiola will be there.
It doesn't.
But I feel that should be the dream president of any country.
Of course, but those who held and still hold Nigeria by the jugular, that want to, that you know, there's this. Those who want to travel far, they will be looking ahead. So it wasn't as if Abiola was a messiah, but people had somebody to look up to. You understand? My father would say, we require only one man. Was it you and I that were talking about Muritala Mohammed a few days ago? One man. Just to, this is where we are going. And you are leading by action. They knew the man who came from abject poverty. Ilé àwọn Simbi ló ti kọ́ jẹyin ní ayé.
I remember.
So,
Yamanek.
He knew. I was raised in those parts of Abeokuta, so I know these people quite well enough. Yet, he overcame that poverty, and he did not allow those experiences to condition him. He used Abiola. I have never seen any man like that. He gave and gave and gave until he gave his life. So, the man has nobody, no. The burden is now that of history.
As at that time, I remember one of his sons, Abdul Mumin, he said in an interview that as at the time his father was alive, he was paying the school fees of over 25,000 students.
Yeah,
all over.
It's just you see. That's one thing, though. Now, some politicians now, if they are paying school fees of 10 people, you have to go and gather at their gates before you are allowed access into their majestic presence. But for a man of Abiola stature, it doesn't have anything to do with him. Absolutely nothing. Everything is arranged, pre-arranged.
He already put things in place for them. They didn't need a direct connection.
It was a standing order of payment. It was an irrevocable standing order of payment, already pre-arranged. Not that we're going to do rankadede, and expecting. People are funny. You see, when you are giving and you are expecting something, people saw through the man. When people are giving, even God says, if you are not giving generously, don't bring it out.
Now, talking about the man, Humphrey Nwosu, what will he be remembered for?
Humphrey Nwosu will be remembered as a simple, straightforward man that was given an assignment and delivered on his assignment. It was. Did you hear any question about the validity or whatever, the integrity of that election? Is there any issue about the integrity of the election?
None.
Okay, which election in Nigeria has had no integrity issues? Only 1993. So, what else do you now want from the man?
That June 12 election remains the freest and the fairest election in the history of the country.
Without integrity questions. So, the man, that one is enough for his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to say it was our father, it was our grandfather that conducted the only election in Nigeria without integrity questions.
And the man that annulled the election, do we say that he's remorseful now for his action? As we wrap up,
I'm not even interested whether he's remorseful, but he will carry that burden to his grave.
Do you know that in some interviews he has come out to say that he was being influenced by people close to Abiola himself? I don't want to mention names now.
That is the most irresponsible utterance a leader will allow to proceed forth from his tongue.
You know he said that.
And I say that is the most irresponsible utterance that anyone that lay claims to leadership will allow to proceed forth from his tongue. I rest my case.
Okay, as you rest your case on that, it's a convenient point for us to call it a day today, comrade. Wow, that's a heavy word there. Well, we wish Professor Humphrey also an eternal rest.
He has done his bit, and he did it creditably well.
And Nigerians will forever remember him for that. I hope he was given his flowers before he died. The flowers he deserved.
Well, you see, there's something I tell people: there are three judgments: the judgment of man, the judgment of history, and the judgment of God. People should be mindful of the judgment of history. History will be unkind to some people, even while they are alive in the immediate past. And then history will come to realization as time goes on and put them in their rightful place. This one, there's no controversy. There's no controversy.
All right, comrade, thank you very much for being a part of the program this morning. So let me ask you, like I always ask you every Friday, what are your plans for the weekend?
I will use your model. Rest.
Okay, that means we're on the same page this weekend now. We're on the same page.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much once again. Wishing you a very splendid weekend. All right, that's the wrap for today. We're back again Monday morning for a fresh edition of From the Dailies on your number one radio dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. My name is AJISOPE LAFFY. Wishing every one of us a very wonderful weekend. Good morning once again.
keeping for good. Freedom is now or never. We either win it or lose it forever. Freedom is now or never. We rather win it and keep it for good. Kanje sigahuzi, agamawaha na chai kama. Kanje sigahuzi, kanje waha na chai kama. Sigahuzi, chai kama. Sigahuzi, chai kama.
Obrigado.